Hi students. So the next topic is teaching English in bilingual and multilingual context. So how we can say it is a bilingual and in what cases we are saying this is a multilingual context. So we are all know that English is a global language and it is learned through in various social settings globally. So the English language is we can say it is a higher education language, and also we can say it is a official, and also we can say it is a functional official language in our India. So we are using this language for communication, and we are getting, it is a good passport. We are getting a prestigious jobs by communicating English language, through English language. So many commissions gave their recommendations and suggestions to enhance the skills of teaching in the Indian schools, as to develop learner as a global fellow in the world. So it's we are giving that much of importance to learn English as a second language, and it is an international language we are pronouncing, and it is a official language. So today we recognize English, it is an essential common language, and it is used everywhere in the world for different progressive purposes. So no one can feel proud or claim English as their mother tongue, or it's our own language. Okay, so English language is expanding globally. So its growth is drastic, and it is dynamic in nature. So it is absorbing so many kinds of vocabulary words and other aspects of language from many more European languages. We are called as a lingua franca. So English has been changing its features to exist as a common European language, a bit different from the standard English language in Britain. So we should understand there is no standard English that we can insist upon. We use British English and American English with their dictionaries of different spellings and pronunciations also. So they can create the chaos among the language teachers and learners of the countries. So the native speakers of British and Americans are a bit different from the non-native speakers due to their local accent, otherwise their stress and intonation, and the words of sentences in English. So non-native speakers can early recognize from their speaking of vocabulary, and they can give other suprasegmental features of their home languages specific to their localities, that influences of their spoken English. So now it is considered as a lingua franca. It is common to all. Okay, lingua franca of Europe. So the learners of English from bilingual and multicultural societies in European countries, they should have that liberty to express themselves with ease and globally. So the learners of various regions have their own accent, own intonation patterns, and own their grammar usage and vocabulary usage to perform their social functions in the existing societies and regions also. So these certain features of language, what are those? It is we have to see the accent, intonation pattern, and grammar and vocabularies. So These features are influence on the language. English, they learn a new and any language is for smooth communication. So far as the communication does not suffer the local variations of language and the expressions are tolerable in a teaching learning process also. So nowadays we are saying English is a bilingual language and a multilingual language. It has accelerated and taking up momentum all over the world to educate future citizens in the English, and as English teachers are responsible to teach English as a lingua franca of Europe. So considering standard pronunciation and grammar of British English to some extent. So actual, what is a means of bilingual and multilingual? So we know the changes in the society reflect on the teaching of English emerged as a lingua franca of multilingual and multicultural societies and the world for common communication. In this era of globalization also, so you need to know the teaching of English in bilingual or multilingual context in the schools. For example, I can give you. You know your English language, you know your mother tongue, Telugu language, okay? You know that English and Telugu both languages, but your Facebook friend knows only English language. He doesn't know any local Telugu language. And what happens here? You can communicate with your Facebook friend very easily. Why? Because you know the English language. He knows the English language. So besides that, your uncle knows only Telugu language. He don't know only English language. So he cannot make friendship with that Facebook friend. Your uncle can't be made friendship with the Facebook friend because he knows only Telugu language. So here bilingual language means one person knows two languages and one person communicate two languages. That is a bilingual. So here now understand that bi means two and lingua means language. So persons using two languages in the social situations for communication are bilingual. So social or learning situations where the persons communicate with each other or one another are known as a context. So that is a meaning of the bilingual. What is the meaning of a multilingual means many, we know that. So a person can communicate in more than two languages is known as multilingual, and the situations where he communicates in many languages with a number of persons in persons of various languages are known as multilingual. That is, we can call it as a multilingual person. He knows many languages, number of languages to communicate. So bilingual context refers to that the situations where two languages are used in language learning settings, and the learner's mother tongue is the first language, that is we can call it as a L1, and targeting learning language, that is a second language, that is L2. So multilingual context refers to context where more than two languages are used in and out of school setting for learning L2, that is English. So that is a multi-context. So what is a need to learn a language? in bilingual ways and multilingual ways. What is the need of a language in the context? So English naturally emerged as a language of global communication. We know that. And English is narrowing the gap between the social and economic and technological groups in the world. So shifts of emphasis in teaching English is to multilingual context in the second language acquisitions. In the contrast to the second language learning in this era of economic, social and scientific technological development. So in fact, language is acquired in a social setting contextually, so focus on second language learning had to be increased. So English should be learned by the student. That is our motto. Next, what are the factors which can influence English language learning? So there are certain factors which can influence the language learning and to adopt teaching English in the bilingual and multilingual context of in your schools. So what are the factors which can affect? So we see this is social factors. So it consists of linguistic and cultural concerns, and as a result what happened, globalization and multilingual and multicultural societies are emerged. So that is a social factor. So what is the situation of in politically? So in our country, in India, and our state influence in determining language and education policies, national and international, from time to time. So many recommendations are said that time to time they are changing the system of learning English, and they are suggested in teaching English in the school sectors also. So the factors, economic factors. What are the economic factors? So in the world, change the global societies to adopt a common language for various communication purposes. See, all over the world. So English is emerged as a lingua franca of Europe, and in spite of its learning, it's a British standard of English or American standard of English. So today, English is not a foreign language or a second or third language, but everybody in school education sectors must be learn English as a global language for communication, for trade and commerce also. So that is 2 centuries ago, the East India Company introduced English in our India. We know that. Technological factors in the modern world influences this education system in schools. Growing computer knowledge and technology and integration of IT and computer and usage of internet is in the schools. So makes everything necessary to teach English as a lingua franca of Europe. So it makes it is a common language to all. We can't feel it our mother tongue. We can't feel it is our language. It is a official language. It is an international language. So we can call it as it is a common to all, lingua franca of Europe. So English is a language used in the world technology even today also. It is growing the demand globally. So personal factors. What are the personal factors? So the use of English in communication for various purposes. Further education in England or America, and SMS through, we are giving SMS through internet, through phones, etc. So however, you need to develop English of your students, of your schools as a common language. for communication global context. So those are which affect the facts to learn English language. So finally, we have to understood that any language is acquired only its social context, and English is a global language, and it is recognized as a lingua franca. We know that, and its necessities you can teach in your schools English in bilingual and multilingual countries, multilingual context in the schools also. So you need to possess knowledge about the academic language and its literary demands, and it can identify the contextual situations and its demands of the learners, and apply key principles of teaching learning English as a second language, and also to use continuous comprehension evaluation models in bilingual and multilingual context for teaching English in your schools. So finally, we can say we are using it is a multilingually, and we are updating our knowledge through communication and through internet, and personally we are communicating by utilizing all technical instruments. We are upgrading our skills. So bilingual context, the teaching of English is a challenging process in the multilingual context also. So English is a skill subject, and any situation and any material can be considered for developing the skill of communication English contextually only. So learning and teaching the language involves, it is a complex skills, and we know that English is a skill-based subject, and it has some kinds of elements, like it has a macro skills and micro skills and sub micro skills also to learning a language. So factors like multilingual, multicultural, and social elements, and educational and language policies in various political conditions, economic growth and individual development in growing technological world, and pedagogical considerations like curriculum and syllabus teaching, and teaching methodologies and materials, and influencing these all English language learning in the schools. So it necessities are there to adopt teaching English in the multilingual and bilingual context in our school system. So we are developing this kind of multilingual and bilingual process in the school sectors, means we should adopt some kinds of technological instruments in our schools. We are following continuous comprehensive evaluation, and by practicing activities and collaborative sessions in our schools, we definitely enhance the English in the school levels also. So English is globally announces that it is a skill subject. It is a passport to the world, and by utilizing English, we are getting prestigious jobs in worldwide. So we should know that we should enhance the collaborating style of teaching, reading, and scaffolding, and it is a type of instructional support for the learners for the learners. So both academic content and school content also. So it is involving activating learners prior knowledge. We are giving a prior knowledge. We are using a multimodal materials, and we are using a written text materials in our schools, and we are giving a collaborative learning activities also, and we are using extra linguistic supports by giving workbooks, and by giving some kinds of worksheets, and supplementing. We are supplementing and modifying our written text, oral languages, and we can provide clear and explicit instructions to enhance and to promote the learning in English language. So first we should give these all kinds of needy things to the learner, then only they can definitely they can enhance their skill of reading, and automatically the skill of writing will develop in the school sector. So government of AP also earlier introduced this English medium schools at all government schools. So right to education is upgraded already. It is a right to English education in the school levels also. So in the coming future also we are seeing, and we can promise that we should develop our skills and we should teach to the students, and then only the nation will give a more and more results and to the students also. So for this we are concluding today's class. We already learned the topic, that is language policy, and what are the national education policies are recommended in the 1986, and again they revised in the 1968 to revised in 1986, and what is the 3 language formula, and what the curriculum framework said about the importance of English, how they are giving inputs to enhance the skills of English language in our school education system especially, and we are giving this multilingual context, and in what way we are enhancing the English language in the school sectors, and what are the factors which affects to learn this English language, what are the factors we are seeing, and finally we conclude this is a knowledge about the academic language literacy also. So it's identified the situational demands of learners also. So up to this we just conclude this topics. So tomorrow we will meet again. Thank you students. Thank you.